Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome to Cash Talks Football, where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing Sheffield United against West Ham. Remember, we're not a fan channel, we're a technical football channel, where I use my over 20 plus years of coaching experience to break down stuff, so you can actually see what's going on and learn something about the game of football if you want to, or become a better footballer by not making the same mistakes that a lot of these players are making. So right now we're going to look at the build-up play here at Sheffield United against West Ham. And there's a lot here to talk about because this game's a complete mess. And I actually think the refereeing is getting worse in the Premier League, week in, week out. I'm going to show you a couple of things about it. What I also want you to do is have a look at these players, right? And can you see how everyone's body shape is different? So what does that mean? They're not in unison, they're not in line. You've got two people again challenging for the ball. Only one person needs to be challenging, not two. The other one needs to be backing him up in space. They don't know really what they're doing. The ball's obviously coming out here, out wide. And then we're going to just watch the centre-backs in the middle and watch how bad these guys are actually at the football. So as this goes out here, Bosch. Right now, this isn't bad. Everyone's starting to be in unison. Everyone's looking at the ball, doing the right thing in the right shape. This guy's half turned because he's got someone peeling him on the back post. Fantastic. We're marked up here in the middle, but this is where it all starts to go wrong. Because right now, they all focus on the ball and they stop paying attention to the players around them. And this is a key. Let's watch what happens as this moves on. Bosch. This guy right here and this guy right here completely let this guy sneak in between them. He does a little curved run and just cuts in behind this guy here, and no one goes with him. Now here's a problem, let me tell you why. Because the responsibility of this player here is technically this player here. Why? Because he's the one that can see him, okay? He hasn't got back and dealt with him, but he's got this guy over here. So this guy's now in no man's land, because this guy isn't close enough to this player, hasn't dropped a couple of yards, hasn't even noticed that he's made a little curved run, or this guy hasn't even tracked him. So this guy now is absolutely screwed because he doesn't know what to do, because he's the one technically that's supposed to be covering him, and he's still got this guy on the back post which is stretching him, so he doesn't know what to do. It's going to be very important because you're going to see why in a second. All of a sudden now, he can't go with this guy. This guy in the middle is still unmarked, and you've got two players here that aren't doing anything. They just stood still. Look, they're still stood still. Ball comes in, comes back to this massive open space. Let's just show you how the open space is happening. Because again, do you remember those two players that were challenging for the ball? The open space happens because we've got this little run that comes in here. Track. Absolutely fine. But nobody fills in. You can see this guy's sprinting to fill in for the gap. But also, what really should have been happening, you see this guy here? He's the one that should be filling this space. He should be coming in marking this player, and there'd be absolutely no problem whatsoever. For some reason, he just wants to come and play back here. Instead of stepping forward, he was a minute ago, he was over here challenging for the ball. So all he has to do is step forward, win the ball, or challenge for the ball, and there's no goal here whatsoever. And his mate comes in and tucks in and does his job here. Both of them don't do anything. Both of them stand oblivious like lemmings. Still standing there like lemmings. This guy doesn't know really what to do because he needs to be going out here to mark him, and he can't because, you know, that guy that was here he was here in front of this guy, then he went around this guy, and now he's gone around and he's over here. He's still not tracked him, and he's still not tracked him. And the guy, I said all along would end up being his responsibilities there, but now he can't mark that player over there. Ball goes across, bounces all the way over there. Why? Because that's how football works. They get a bit lucky, and they smash it into the net box. But it's all because basically these defenders here don't know what they're doing. They're standing still too often. They can't read the situation and come and cover the space and close the gap down. And it's just a complete and utter mess. We've been talking for over 4 minutes on a goal because all their body shape is absolutely terrible. They don't know where to go. They don't know where the space is. They don't know what their roles are. They don't know that they're supposed to mark players that are in front of them. If the player goes behind them, then they move it on and track the player. Like it's just amazing to me that this is happening at the professional level. But we'll get on to the next goal before it bursts an aneurysm. I'm a fan of this ball. It's the long looping ball coming in from the box. You're playing it kind of in an in switch, if that makes sense. So what you're on this side here, but you're playing it with your left foot curving it this way, or your right foot curling it in that way. Does that make sense? So it's coming in, it's easy, it's a nice easy float ball, and you get to attack it and then knock it into the box and see what happens. Again, for some reason, can you see there's like a pocket? If we do that, we can see these two players are unmarked. It should never happen. There should always be another player split between them. There isn't. Well, That's acceptable. That in the middle is not. That means these two aren't doing their job properly. No one's really anticipating this long drop in. And by the way, that challenge there, he should have been better on the ball challenging for it. It shouldn't have been so easy. Okay, the guy had a run at it, but he should have made him work for the header. He didn't. So as this ball comes in, bomb, now it's just a bit of a melee battle. And everything now goes to the wind because there is no shape or structure because you weren't dealing with a first ball and then you weren't set up because those two players basically were 2v1 instead of having an extra defender from West Ham marking the Sheffield United player. Now keeper's got to make a save. That player's gone, pulled another player out, and now it's who's first to the ball. Now I want to show you this because this is the modern day coaching. Right here, James Ward-Prowse is going to be the first to try to receive the ball. But what he needs to understand is he's facing his own goal. And what he needs to do is just kick it out for a corner. But he's not trying to do that. He's trying to play the ball. He's trying to pass it out. And that's how come this goal gets scored. Because look, all he needs to do right now is stick his little toe on it. Also, actually just volley the ball. And he's not. Right? So look at his body shape when he's running towards the ball. Let's get it perfect for you. So when it comes to James Ward-Prowse here, look, he's stopping because he's trying to receive the ball. He needs to be running full pelt at that ball and smashing it out for a corner. He doesn't know who's behind him, but because he's stopping, you see his body movement, it's a whole transition there. He's stopping, he's trying to receive the ball. As he's trying to receive the ball, it's all too late. Someone's come in, taken it off him, had a little poke, and scored. Because he's trying to play the ball. If he just carried on running and cleared the ball straight out for a corner, then they'd have been a set piece. He didn't do it. That's a product of the modern player always trying to play the ball, even in situations that's completely and utterly stupid. Let's get on to the next goal. Next goal's a penalty. Coming up here, it's Danny Ings. You can see he's clearly tripped up. It is a pen. Danny Ings, I like him as a player. I wish he just scored a couple more goals to make him a little bit more useful. But he's a decent lad. So let's just take a look at the penalty. As we know, it's James Ward-Prowse, should be in the England team, but we all know how stupid the England coach is. And boss straight down the middle. Nice penalty. And off we go. Let's check out the next goal. Well, actually, there's a couple of things I'm going to show you here because it's not just a goal. Things start to get messy from here on in. So we'll show you a couple of those. There was a couple of red cards going on. I'm going to show you this challenge because back in my day when this was just a normal everyday challenge. And he's just like, Abbott's, 2-footed, studs up, going through the back of him. Yeah, red card. Off you go, Sonny. But we're going to do a couple of these penalty decisions and this goalkeeper stuff, which is very important. So this is going to be the third game now in a couple of weeks where the goalkeeper's come out to challenge for the ball, completely flapped and missed it, expecting a free kick because he's a goalkeeper, and it hasn't happened, and it's turned out to be a penalty. Now, here's the other problem. At the beginning of the season, Man United, Onana came out and mullered the Wolves player, and it wasn't a penalty. But now it is. So this is the problem with the consistency of the refs. No one cares whether or not the Onana one was a penalty or not if halfway through the season, which we are now, it is now given as a penalty. They go, oh, well, the ref's consistent. He's crap at the first week and he's crap on the, halfway through the season. Everyone's okay with that. The problem is, all of a sudden now, when you're doing it halfway through the season, look at this. He's coming out. He's fluffing for the ball. Bosh. He clatters the guy. He gets an elbow to the face, the keeper does, but he's clearly fouled. You can't just run up and, just try to take a player out without winning the ball. There's no difference from a keeper and another player. Keepers don't get special treatment, but the problem now is the inconsistency, and they're setting a precedent now for the last couple of games. And I'd say the last maybe 2-3 weeks, there was the, I can't remember, the Brighton one, Brentford one, and the Vincent Company, the Burnley one. But it's getting worse because at the beginning of the season, they weren't giving any of these, and Wolves lost a couple of points because of it. They might get relegated because of it, probably not, but they might do. They're going to lose a couple of million over each spot in the Premier League they don't get. So, yeah. But there's another penalty that should have happened after this, which I'm going to show you, which is a clear penalty, and I'm going to show you why. Now, I saw this game, well, I actually didn't see this game. I fell asleep. All right. But I did... I have a feeling, this is Fabianski, right? And I just know what goalkeepers do. We're going to see, he's going to take a step. And as he takes a step, he's going to get beaten. Let's see if I'm right. Takes a step. Do you see the step forward off the line? Do we see that half a step? Let's put that back to see if I can catch that again. Right. As he stepped, do you see his feet are in the air? His feet are in the air when he's striking that ball. He cannot move because he's in the air. It's an old habit which goalkeepers used to do, where they used to take a step forward before the ball's kicked. But you see, he's doing it as the ball's kicked. So what you're doing is you're moving off your line before the ball's kicked and now the angle, and then diving. Problem is, he's too slow now because he's in the air. So the ball's going to be probably about here before he can dive. Let's watch. And he's already in because he can't dive because he's in the air. That's why he can't save that penalty. I don't know why they still do it, but they do. No one calls him on it. Okay, this is a clear as day penalty because the defender's got no interest in trying to head the ball. He's got his arms wrapped around the guy and he collapses on him. Let's watch. Bosh. That is a penalty. He's not trying to win the ball. He's tackling the player. Player goes down. That is a stonewall pen. Here's from the other angle. Player's not even looking at the ball. He's just looking at marking the player. He's got his arms wrapped around him. As he's going, look, he's just pulling him down. Absolute stonewall penalty, not given. And that's the problem with the inconsistency in the Premier League. Because at the beginning of the season, that's given a penalty all day, and now it's not. So I don't know what happened over the little the little break thingy that they've had, but apparently they've changed all the rules. So we'll see what they come up with in the next couple of weeks. I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.